have a material witness on an aggravated battery with a handgun, and they believe this might be in retaliation to her testimony.
Three types of people in our generation: those who cause the problem, those who avoid it, hide from it, not to be drawn to the problem until inevitably it is drawn to them. And then there's the third group, those who solve the problem. We can all choose.
You complaining about living hard. Your day ones forgot to send you a Christmas card. You been in prison yards, but I ain't have a crystal ball or any other warning to say I've been through this before. You busy worried about the rest. I got busy and buried all the rest. Other people who hurried with me to death, I'll tell you their story. Gotta get this burden off my chest. Before my story, I advise you quit speaking what you heard and you learned. All of that tweeting gets dudes hurt, gets youth murked. Watch what you text to that blue bird. Nowadays, you can sum up responses with 2 words. I remember running through the field, ducking through the hills, body covered with some chills. Something didn't feel right, I wondered what concealed frights were in this nightmare. Then I discovered it was real. I saw my best friend of years down, suffering in pain. He looked right into my eyes as I struggled just to say, man, I'm sorry, it never should have come to this stuff. His mouth was flooded like his stomach leaked his blood in his guts. Bullets in his frame, knives in his throat. I see this picture every time my eyes blink and close. Couldn't help but ramble on about his goriest of ends. I'm sorry, let's take it back to where my story just begins. That was me and many others. Remember you saw us off, encouraged us all to serve with no word and to call us off. We were all unsuspecting teenagers with a mission. Money was most important, didn't care for the expenses or risks that we took to get it. We were in it for stripes, kinda like how we post indecent pictures, things just for likes or whatever. We just knew never what it come for us. Well, we might have, but we still did whatever was fun for us. Had a homie like me, a respected lyrical monster, connected to killer monsters' directions. He didn't follow pedestrian people, saw him as destined to be a problem. If he ever wanted folks 2 cents, he went and robbed them. Pretty boy with us too, a player and womanizer. He take your boo from you later, then tell you to come and find her. Next to him were 2 ladies connected by sudden violence. The type who was tough online and the type who would come to fight her. Following them was cameraman, and you know he was known for the fact that if it went down, he was always the first to show up. Load up a flick to world star for views, hoping he blow up. And next to him was the homie supplying the drinks to pour up. Rolled up more blunts, had donuts for munchies. When people smoked up, I told them hold up, took 4 cups and poured them to those below us. Pray to God I make money by working with Satan's soldiers. We couldn't see life as wrong for philosophy, Satan sold us. Around us were the unnamed, interested, not innocent, not perfect, but in a sense they were innocent. So there we were, standing in the field, about to move around, but wait, a man has just appeared, all black, hooded figure in the womanizer's background. He pulled that black out, knew from them clips he ain't lack rounds. He said,
"Don't you pimpin', let me show you how a max out."
He twisted his chest where his back goes and blew his back out. Shell shot. We couldn't comprehend what's going on. The man grabbed the cameraman by his recording arm. He saw 2 thoughts and he called them bizarre creatures, and off the tops were 2 shots that have got the drop on Sharkeisha. The calm reaper had the cameraman mesmerized. He set his camera aside and said,
"You'll be next to die."
The wind blew. I remember thinking after it, snap out of it. These people aren't dying. This ain't happening. We're scrambling. We all heard the cameraman scream his last words. This ain't real. I just had a bad dream before a death call. We'd all scattered, flying into nowhere. Sadly though, when death calls, your hiding place is nowhere. However, some of us prolonged our death sentences because for our crimes, death was targeting the innocent. Left and right, I watched his bodies fell and blood splash, while one blue sirens flashing as we yelled and guns blast. We're with ambulances, cop cars, SWAT teams, or fire trucks. All I heard was knife slashes, screams as people die for us. Then when he closed in, he looked into my eyes and said, "You died with your friends." You watched the news and saw the names of people that he mentioned who've been ended, killed, and you know all the death could be prevented. He pulled his hood off and started changing how his face looks familiar. I had seen a lot of those on Facebook. Always tagged him, post that had an RIP inside him. He said death comes for us all, but they would all still be alive if you had spoken out against the ignorance, averted it. Instead, you encouraged it, you nurtured it, and furthered it. And learning this, I'll give you one last chance to make it right. He changed his sight. What I saw made me take to flight. I remember running through that field, ducking through the hills, body covered with the chills. Something didn't feel right, I wondered what concealed frights were in this nightmare. Then I discovered it was real. I saw my best friend of years down, suffering in pain. He looked right into my eyes as I struggled just to say, "Man, I'm sorry, it never should have come to this stuff." His mouth was flooded like his stomach leaked his blood and his guts. Bullets in his frame, knives in his throat. I see this picture every time that my eyes blink and close. Man, I woke up with a scream from the story that I dreamed of. death's last face change. The form of it was